on 105 The Hive. And up on our smart board right now is the photograph that I just tweeted out for Math Talk Mondays. And the point of today, and from now on, every Monday, is going to be talking about the math that we see in different pictures. And there's lots of things that we've learned so far about math. What's something that we've learned so far about math, just to kind of keep us thinking? Dana?
I'm going to tell you about that.
Oh, well, hold on. Before you tell me about this one, I just want to keep us thinking of ideas. So what's something that we've learned so far about math, a general idea?
How we, when we put 2 and then take, if we have 3 and take 1 away, it makes 2.
Okay.
That's how we do that.
Okay, so you've learned something about subtraction. Who else has something that they've learned about math? Mariana.
That you can just, that you have, patterns, you put, red, green, red, green.
Okay, who else has learned something about math? Aiden.
Adding.
Okay, can you give me an example?
By putting 1,
Yeah.
adding 3 more would make 4.
Okay, and who else can tell me something that they've learned about math? Dana?
When you do adding another one, when you have 2 and then you make 2 more, and if you put 3 and 3 more, that makes 6 because 3 and 3 makes 6.
Okay, so we've still learned about adding again. So you've got adding and subtracting, you've got some numbers, you've got patterns. Is there something else that we've learned about in math? I'm thinking of things that we've used and we've made some pictures and things with it, like circles and squares and rectangles and what are all those things? What are they, Sarah?
Shapes and numbers.
Yeah?
And patterns.
Okay, so we've got all kinds of different ideas when it comes to math. Thinking about all of those ideas, I want you to have a look up here on the picture that's on the smartboard. Hidden in this picture, there is actually quite a bit of math. Who sees something here that makes them think of math in some way? Sarah, can you come show us what you see?
I see shapes.
Okay, what shape do you see there?
It's kind of like a rectangular diamond.
Oh, why do you think it's kind of like a diamond?
Because it looks like the same.
What does a diamond look like? Okay. Can you tell me anything about the sides?
It's allowed to be any size.
Oh, how many lines are there on a diamond? How many sides?
4.
Okay.
And there's a circle.
Oh, what does the circle look like up there?
A soccer ball.
Who do you think likes to play with the soccer ball?
The kids.
You think so? I don't know. I don't have any kids, but I do have some dogs.
The dogs and kids like to.
They do.
The dog and kids like to play with the soccer ball.
They do. Okay, does anybody else have something up here that reminds them of math? Jordan, what do you have? What do you see that reminds you of math?
Let's see. They're kind of like circles.
They are. What do you notice about the size of them, Jordan?
They're kind of medium.
Are they all the same size though?
No, one's little, one's medium, and one's big.
That's right. And if they went in order, which one did you circle?
This one's the This one's the biggest. This one's number 3.
Okay.
And it's biggest.
And so that's number 3. Why did you say that's number 3, Jordan?
And this one's number 1.
Okay.
And this one's number 2. And this one's the medium.
That's right. And number 1. What can you tell me about the size of number 1?
It's small. And this one, number 3, is the biggest.
Okay. And Jordan, would you like to pick someone else that has something to share? Oh. And what else did you see there, Jordan, before you get something else to share?
I see like a little rectangle.
What is the rectangle? Do you know?
It's a dog, a rectangle dog.
I don't know if it's the dog that he's pointing to, although it does kind of look like it. But it could also be, if you look very closely, there's the tiles on the floor.
Looks like
It's
a
hard to
wiener
tell.
dog.
Okay. Jordan, would you like to pick somebody else that has something to share about the math that they see? 1, 2. Shyla, come on up. What do you notice?
I noticed that my Nana, she had the same floors as you, the same tile.
Oh, and what do you notice about the tiles that makes you think of math, Shyla?
Where? The diamonds.
Oh, the diamonds are in the middle, but what else about the tiles?
They have like, it's like, they have a little, like, they have orange.
Yeah.
And the diamonds are black, and it's a little black there.
Yeah. And what kind of shape are those tiles?
Squares.
How do you know that they're squares and not rectangles?
Because this one's square.
What makes a square, though? Is that a square?
No.
Not quite, although it's hard to draw it on there.
Like this.
What makes a square different than a rectangle?
Because a rectangle is something, it's a pointy thing. And
Okay, but how many sides does that have, Shyla?
1, 2, 3, 4.
And how many sides does a square have?
4.
So hold on, Natalia, if a square has 4 sides and a rectangle has 4 sides, what makes the square different, Natalia?
Because it's a lot more straighter.
I don't know, they both look straight to me. I know this picture isn't the best on straightness.
Excuse me.
But, hold on, what makes this different from this? Because they both have 4 sides, so what makes it different?
Like it's the opposite.
Well, what do you mean?
Because they both have 4 squares.
Well, they do, but do they look the same?
No.
Yeah.
It's because this one is really short and this one's longer.
But you know what though? Hold on a minute. When you say really short and longer, can you just sit down for a minute? I think that Dana might have something.
These are circles.
They are. They are. What?
And there's lots of them.
There are. And can you just put that down for a second? Because I'd like Dana, maybe you could just tell us. Because I've got just a few people up here for now.
But
Yeah.
But it's the sides are the opposite.
What do you mean by the opposite? Dana, can you just tell us for a minute, what's the difference between the square and the rectangle?
Because when you cut this in half, it's a square, and when you cut it in half like that, it's like 4 squares. But this one, it has shorter lines. This one has the same lines. This one has like this. See how this one's so tiny?
Yes.
This one's tiny.
But that to me looks like a rectangle and not a square.
No, but when you cut it in half, it makes a rectangle. I mean a square.
Why does it make a square when you cut it in half?
Because, let me show you like.
Aliha.
When you do it like this.
Yeah.
Big square.
Yeah.
And when you cut the square in half, it makes a rectangle. When you cut the rectangles in half, they make squares.
I wonder if that's always true.
Nah.
I never really thought of that.
And when you cut it like at the side, like at this side, it makes a rectangle. I mean, a triangle.
Wow. So, Dana, you're already thinking about how all these shapes go together. It's kind of interesting. Can you put that one back for a minute? Have a seat. Does anyone else see anything that reminds them of math in here?
I know something.
Just like those quiet heads. Aiden, what do you see?
I know something about
Okay.
some of these.
What do you know?
If you turn a diamond around, it will make a
Shyla?
square.
If you turn a diamond around,
It makes a square. See?
wonder if that's always true.
Yeah, it is.
So, hold on.
Because they're actually squares.
So if I turn it like that, it makes a square, right?
Yeah.
But what if I have one of those long, skinny diamonds?
It makes. See.
Well,
If
this
you-
is not the best example of one.
If you
It
turn
makes
a
a
little,
rectangle.
I just wonder, like, look, this long, skinny one, if I turn it,
It looks like a 10 diamonds. No, it looks like, well, it does look like this. It does look like a rectangle.
but this one doesn't.
Well, when you do it like this, you make
a square. Two squares.
No, hold on,
Triangle.
she's got it. What happens when you do it like
you
that?
make triangles.
You do, but the question is, and this was something that, hold on, Dana, just sit for a second so we can go through what Aiden was thinking. Because Aiden said that if I took a diamond and I flipped it, it makes a square. This one did, right, Aiden?
Yeah.
But this one,
That's
when I flipped it, it didn't make one. So I wonder what makes the one make it into a square and the other one doesn't. Now in my picture here, and I know this has kind of all come out of the picture and the tiles and stuff, does anyone see anything else that reminds them of math? Mariana, I love that quiet hand. Come on up, Mariana.
These remind me of like it goes big,
Yeah.
medium, small.
Now hold on a minute. It reminds me that a minute ago, Jordan said the same thing about those water dishes.
Because like he's going like to the water one
Yeah?
to get a little bit of food and a little bit of water.
That's right, and that's actually how she goes the
Wait.
whole time. But I'm thinking, how many dishes are there here, Mariana?
3.
Okay,